Hello and welcome to another episode of Open Heart Mystic. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different from the tarot, and we're going to do a very simple type of rune candle magic. Now I've been working with the Norse deities now for a little over 2 years, and I'm also slowly learning more about the runes and their meanings. And usually if you look up runes online and you look up the meanings, you will find you'll usually find a little chart that tells you, wealth, protection, etc. And those are very surface meanings for the rune cards. One book that I highly recommend if you're really interested in getting into runes is this book right here by Paganism called Taking Up the Runes, A Complete Guide to Using Runes and Spells, Rituals, Divination, and Magic. It's very thorough. And she goes much beyond just the general basic meanings. She goes into possible ancient meanings, current meanings, how to use runes for magic, how to pronounce the runes, and all kinds of information like that. So, if you really want to get into the runes, great book to have here. Another book that I will recommend for this particular video is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, right here, which is what I use as a general reference when picking herbs for any type of magical work I am doing. Okay, so the tools you will need. You will need your candle. The candle color will depend completely on the type of magic you intend to do. There's many different views on candle magic and colors. I've encountered some pagans and witches who are of the opinion that it doesn't matter what color candle you use, it's all about intention. That's one way to look at it. From my perspective, as someone who was trained in the religious order of Witchcraft, which is a tradition founded by Mary Onita Tupes in New Orleans in the early 70s, we have a very specific idea of what colors associated with what planets, what days of the week to use to enhance your magical working. Okay, intention is good. Intention is important, but it's not everything. Okay? So don't just go by intention. In my personal experience and opinion, if you use a different candle color that works for you based on your tradition or your own intuitive feelings, that's perfectly fine. You do you. Witchcraft, as I have said many times to other people, is a very individual craft to each person, depending on the tradition you are trained in or your own personal intuition. The important thing is that you know why you're picking the color you're using and for what purpose you're using it. Okay? So please, know that if you pick a particular color, for example, I'm going to be doing a money spell today. The candle I'm using is green. Green in Rune, which is short for the religious order of Witchcraft tradition, green is associated with the day Thursday and with the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, money, abundance, etc. Okay, so that's why I'm using this particular color candle. Again, your tradition might use a different color that associates with the planet Jupiter, or maybe there's another planet or color entirely that you use for money and abundance. Okay, so go by whatever feels most accurate for you and what helps to put you in the energy of abundance and money. Okay, so green candle. Here I've got some herbs that I've already picked out and that I've already mixed together here. I have basil, I have mint, Irish moss, and these are all herbs that are associated with money and abundance and bringing in more finances. Another herb that I've added here, which is not specifically associated with money is lavender. Lavender, again, this is according to the tradition I was trained in, is associated with the planet Mercury and with the angel or the archangel Raphael. And oftentimes we will use lavender and add it to a spell in order to bring about speed. So by adding the lavender to this herb mixture that I'm going to use, I'm basically letting the universe know that I want my money spell to be made manifest as swiftly and quickly as possible with the aid of the Archangel Raphael. For those of you who may work with the archangels, you can certainly do that. You can also omit it if you want to. Again, it's all based on your own personal practice, okay? Here, I have money drawing oil. This is one called Art of the Root that I bought. I do have some oils that I've made myself that are associated with different deities. But I decided just to grab this for this quick video. But certainly feel the need to make your own if you feel drawn to do that. Go ahead. Another tool that I have here, I'm using this as a tool for carving. This is actually a nail cuticle tool that I bought that I find to be really helpful when wanting to carve into candles. Some people use a thame, some people will use knitting needles and that sort of thing. I like this because it's easy to hold and to press in. If you're using a thame, especially, your general size of thame, it can still be a little awkward, I find, carving into your candle. Plus, I don't like having wax all over my blade in that regard. So this is the tool I'm using. But you'll use whatever tool you find works best for you when carving into candles. And of course, I got an incense stick here. This is frankincense and myrrh. Again, if you want to use a money drawing incense that you make yourself, that's perfectly fine. Actually, that's probably preferred. You can also buy sticks that are already created for money drawing. If you don't have either of those, frankincense and myrrh is pretty much an all-around incense that you can use for general rituals, spell work, and all of that. So that's why I'm using the frankincense and myrrh, because it's my go-to for all things ritual and magical for general purpose. Okay. Now, before we get started, I am going to light this incense. This candle right here, this purple candle I have in the corner, I just like to have that candle on for my videos and just to help ease my mind. It is a candle that I made. It's a lavender color and it has lavender oil in it, which is very calming and relaxing, which is the state you want to be in when doing any type of magic. Okay. So the rune that we are going to be using today is the very first rune. Okay. There are 3 sets of runes in the traditional Elder Futhark rune set, which is what we're using. And the very first one in the first et, I believe it's called, I'm sorry if I've butchered that word, is the rune Fehu. Fehu. And this is the rune that's associated mainly with Frey and Freya, which are 2 gods that were taken in by the Aesir gods and are also worshipped alongside the Aesir gods by many people. They were associated with farming, agriculture, fertility, wealth, abundance. And this is a rune that is associated with both Freya and Frey. It is great for, like I said, wealth, abundance. The symbol associated, animal symbol associated with this rune is that of cattle, because back in the ancient days of our ancient ancestors, cattle would have been viewed as a form of wealth. Having cattle, meant you had some money. So that would be the symbol for the ancient Norse tradition, would be cattle for wealth and abundance. Aside from wealth and abundance, another thing that I would want to add to this too is that while wealth and abundance and fertility are your basic understandings of this rune, part of understanding the rune of Fehu is also understanding that wealth and abundance and fertility is also fleeting. So you will go through times where you have all the money and abundance that you need, health, happiness, wealth. But there will also be times in your life where you may struggle financially, struggle with your health, and etc. That is the way it works. So when everything is cycles, right? Everything is cyclical. So when we are using runes, and in this case the Fehu rune, we need to also acknowledge and understand that when we have the wealth and the abundance coming into our lives, we need to save it and or spend it wisely, so we're not running through it quickly and getting back into a place of having little to no money or financial wealth. Okay, so when we have periods of money coming in, try not to spend it all at once, make it last. And also, when we're receiving financial wealth and abundance, it's also great to want to help others who may be struggling. We might want to share that wealth with others. So if you have friends or family that are in, a particularly difficult time, and you have the resources to help them, in the Norse tradition, you would of course want to help them. Everything's about reciprocity. You give and receive and give. We don't receive and hoard, receive, hoard and hoard. Okay. The natural flow is to receive and give and receive. Okay. So just putting that out there, that's neither here nor there really, but just kind of letting you know a little bit more of how to view wealth and abundance, generally speaking. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to carve the Fehu rune into the candle here. And while I do that, I'm going to visualize myself being enveloped in that rune and what it means to be in tune with that rune while chanting or intoning Fehu. By doing that, we are in essence connecting our energy to the energy of that rune to help draw in the energy of abundance, financial freedom, material well-being, etc. Okay. So, here we go. As you can see, I have cards in Fehu. It's not perfect. Looks pretty good. Not perfect, but we're not looking for necessarily perfection here. Okay. Now, we're going to put this candle down, and I am going to, I forgot to grab, sorry about that. We'll use a cutting board. Now, the next thing we want to do is we are going to anoint the candle with our money drawing oil. And then after we do that, we're going to roll the candle in these herbs that I've already got pre-done here. And when we're using herbs, it's always good to pray or speak to the herbs and let them know what we're using them for, and to kind of connect our energy with the energy of the herbs. We're asking the herbs to assist us in our magical working. We are thanking them for their magical working of drawing money to us and to aiding this spell to bring about my financial abundance. So mote it be. Always say so mote it be, which basically just means, and so it is done. As I say it, so it is. So we're going to take our oil here, our money drawing oil, and we're just going to wet our fingers here on the end. And then this is how we're going to go into the center of the candle here, and we're going to move up. Turn the candle and move up. Turn the candle again and move up. And we're going to make sure that we've gone all the way around. Okay. And then we're going to reverse the candle over this way and continue again. And we are spinning the candle in a clockwise motion because we're drawing energy to us. If we were drawing it away, we would go in the opposite direction, counterclockwise. But we are drawing energy to us. So, once we've done that, the candle is now anointed with the money drawing oil. And we're going to take our candle here, and we're going to turn in a clockwise motion. And we're going to get some of those herbs going onto the candle. You don't need that many herbs. I've seen a lot of candles these days being sold, and some being made where they're covered in herbs and they're covered in stones and all kinds of stuff, like just loaded. And really, that's not what we want. Sorry, there's a little cat hair here. We don't want too much of that, because then what it does is it makes the candle dangerous, potentially. You could end up starting a fire or something like that. So we want to be very careful. Always use common sense. Oops. Sorry. Always use common sense and safety when lighting candles, even for magic. Okay. Do not leave candles burning unattended. You don't want to start a fire. Make sure that you keep an eye on them at all times. If you are not going to be in the same room with the candle while it's burning, or you have to leave the house, make sure that you get a snuffer for your candle and just snuff it out. Never blow out your candle, because blowing out your candle is basically seen as blowing out the life of the magic that you are working. So we never want to blow a candle out. We always want to snuff the candle out. Okay, and then when you come back to the room or back to your home from wherever, go ahead and relight it and just let it continue on its own as it's being done. Now with these leftover herbs, I am going to just kind of run them here around the candle to add their energy to the working being done. There we go. There we go. Nice. And whatever you don't need, you don't use, you can either save, put in a baggie or a container and use it for another money spell at another time. Or you can take the leftovers and leave them outside as an offering to the land spirits as well. Never throw out the herbs, though. That's disrespectful, I think, in my personal view. Some people will throw them out. I don't think that's respectful to the plant spirits, so I do not throw them out. Alright, so got our candle anointed, we've got the herbs around it, we've got the Fehu energy into it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to call on the gods that we are working with for this spell. If you work with angels, you may call on the angels. If you work with spirit guides, call on the spirit guides. If you don't work with spirit guides, angels, or gods or anything, call on your higher will, call on universal energy. Whatever it is that you work with is appropriate for calling into in this spell. You could also just be calling on your own energies to put into the candle if that's what you wish to do. So there's no right or wrong. Again, it's all based on your own tradition and or your own intuitive guidance. I work with Odin and I work with Frigg, and so I am going to call them in to bless this candle spell. Place your hands at the candle and say your prayer. You can say it silently or you can say it out loud. I invoke the All-Father, Odin, and ask for his blessing on this candle to bring money, abundance, swiftly and quickly into my life so that I may be comfortable and healthy. Give us the gift of abundance. I also call on the All-Mother, on Frigg, to lend your energy and to bring abundance and money into the household. May I be filled with love, abundance, and peace. I thank you for your blessings upon this spell, and I ask that this spell be done for the good of all concerned, within universal love, light, law, and wisdom. As I will it, so mote it be. One thing that I do want to point out real quick here before we finish this candle spell is I called on Odin and Frigg. That may seem a little strange because I just explained to you earlier in the video that the rune of Fehu is associated with Frey and Freya. But I work mainly with Odin and Frigg. Those are the deities that I have a deep connection with. And those are the ones that I work with. So those are the ones I'm calling in regardless of the fact that this particular rune is associated with Frey and Freya. There seems to be a lot of people in the witchcraft community who like to treat the gods like they're picking something out of a book. Oh, I want love, so let's click on, let's call on this goddess. Or I need healing, we'll call on this god or goddess associated with healing, and vice versa. The best gods to work with, if you work with deities that is, are the ones that you have an established relationship with. Calling on a deity you have no relationship with and asking them for something is both rude, in my opinion, and it's probably not going to net you too much of a result. There needs to be a built relationship with the deities you're working with, and no matter what deities they are, even if they're not traditionally associated with whatever magical working you're doing, If they're the ones you have the relationship with, those are the ones you should call on, in my opinion. Can you call on other deities that may be supposedly associated with certain things? Yeah, you can do that if you want, but always work with the gods that you have built a relationship with. It's really, really important when you're working with deities and you're calling them in for magical ritual purposes that you develop some type of established relationship with them. No matter how simple it may be. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be, too elaborate or anything like that. It can just be a simple thing of talking to them once a week or talking to them once a month at a certain time. Like if you work with Hecate, you might leave offerings for Hecate and call on her during the dark of the moon. That's fine as well. So it doesn't have to be complicated. And I will also say, while I work with the gods, specifically Odin and Frigg, I don't work with them daily. Like, I don't call on them daily. I don't meditate on them daily. On a day-to-day basis, I tend to work more with my ancestors, with land spirits, house spirits, my angels, and my guides. So just a little information there. I would also like to add to this prayer for myself personally is that I would like to call on to the Archangel Raphael and the energies of the planet Mercury to speed this spell up, that it may be made manifest swiftly and quickly, again for the good of all concerned. So mote it be. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus our energy into the candle, close our eyes, go within, and visualize yourself already having that which you have asked for. So see yourself happy, content, having all that you need monetarily, materially, whatever it is you're trying to draw to you. Imagine yourself already having it. Feel yourself already having it. Do not see yourself getting it, and don't see how you're going to get it. And the reason for that is that by doing that, we're limiting how it's going to come to us. We want to leave it completely open to the universe to get the in this case money to us swiftly and quickly through any means that is for the good of all concerned. We don't want to limit the universe into how that may happen, so we're just going to stay open. And by saying at the end, for the good of all concerned, I am making sure that it comes in a way that is beneficial to all involved. Okay, so it doesn't come through something negative or harmful to others and yourself. Okay, so by doing that, I'm neutralizing the spell. And this is something I learned through Lori Cabot when I took her Witchcraft of the Science 1, many moons, 2003 maybe? I don't even know. It's been so long. It was in the early 2000s I took her course. And so we say that to kind of neutralize any energies being used to manifest our spell that we don't want to harm others, etc. for that. Okay. And again, we visualize ourselves as already having it, not getting it, but having it already. We're removing any and all doubt. In other words, to achieving our goal. And you can take as long as you need to do this. For the sake of this spell, I am going to, since this is a video, I am now going to draw forth a pentagram to help charge this spell. This is something that I do myself. And then bring the energy in. And you will also, if, again, because we're using runes in this particular candle spell, as you're visualizing yourself with this energy, feeling the energy, if you're someone, by the way, who has trouble visualizing, that's okay. You don't have to be able to visually see it. You can just hold the feeling that you think you would have having what it is you're asking for. So feeling calm, comforted, having everything you need materially, monetarily. Just feel that. And know that this spell has worked and has done what it's supposed to do. Everything that you need, the universe is providing for you. And again, like I was going to say, since we are using the rune of Fehu, we are now going to chant the rune either internally or outwardly for as long as you need, or as long as you feel the energy is in the candle of the rune Fehu. And we're going to take there we go, and we're going to light the candle. And we're going to continue holding that energy and chanting the rune. Fehu, Fehu, Fehu. This spell has begun. Financial freedom, monetary abundance, material wealth and comfort are mine, with the blessings of the old ones, Odin and Frigg, with the speed of Mercury and blessings of the Archangel Raphael. As I will it, so mote it be. And I'm going to leave this candle here now and let it continue to burn down. If you are doing this similar spell yourself, you can continue to stay here in meditation for longer, chanting, feeling, visualizing, for as long as you feel you need to. I really wanted to share this. It's simple candle magic using herbs and oils. And I really find for myself personally, from my own experiences, that using the runes are really a power boost for me personally, for all my magical workings. So if you too feel a connection to the runes, you want to learn more about the runes, you want to try doing rune magic, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple as what we've just done here today. So I want to thank everyone for your presence, for watching this video. If you did like this video, please press the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you like the videos that I have posted and want to see more. If you know anybody who is interested in runes and or just candle magic, please feel free to share this video with them as well. Me doing these videos is something I do in service to the old gods, specifically to Odin, who has been such a mentor and guide for me in the last 2 years. And with my knowledge of over 25 years of witchcraft, I think sharing this with others so that you can add more tools to your toolkit is always a positive. Once again, thank you for being here. Blessed be all of you, and I'll see you again in the next video. So mote it be.